It is story time.
Tell us a story, Charlie.
What kind of story?
I want a story about a man who has cancer forever.
That's pretty much it, yeah. I'm going to explain the simple history of Wade Winston Wilson, aka Deadpool, aka Ninja Spider-Man, aka the Regenerate Degenerate, which is my favourite name for him. I don't think he has any other AKs that I actually like.
The Merc with the mouth.
Oh yeah, the Merc with the mouth. That one's kind of important.
You have a t-shirt with that one, how could you?
I know I do, because I kind of forgot. I'm not very good with things. Story time with Charlie. Oh, I want that on a t-shirt.
Birthday present for Charlie.
With Charlie.
Sorted.
Deadpool was a globetrottering mercenary who basically went around the world shooting people for money and really having fun with it until he got cancer. Like a lot of cancer. Very incurable, super painful cancer. And to save his girlfriend from having to basically be with him, he just left with his cancer.
I love it.
Bag.
His cancer, so his cancer's just...
Yeah. And
I want an animation of Deadpool walking away with like cancer at his side.
Hand in hand with cancer.
After that, he was picked up by the Canadian branch of the thing that gave Wolverine his bones, called Department K, up in Canada, and they gave him Wolverine's healing factor. Because they can just do that. They can just inject things that other people have into someone else's body. And after being thrown in, being basically labelled a failure because he had Wolverine's healing factor but not properly, because it didn't kill the cancer, it just killed the cancer cells, but the cancer was still there.
Kept coming back.
Yeah, so he's in constant pain. Yeah.
But the cancer's sort of stuck.
It's like it's like cancer's still there because it can't be cured. But the healing factor gets rid of the cancerous cells.
Okay, so it's not getting any worse, but it's not getting any better.
No, it's as worse as he gets, which is why his face constantly changes.
Yeah, it's gross.
And he was thrown into a place, I can't remember its name, but he was basically used as an experiment by this man called Dr. Kilbrew and his sidekick called Ajax, who is an asshole. And he's basically made friends with all the other failed experiments, slowly started falling in love with death as he lost more of his mind. It may not be the actual death, but maybe it isn't, I don't know. And further onwards, down the line, all the prisoners in the place made bets in a thing called the Deadpool, because that's where his name comes from. Right? And they made bets on who would die last, and until the point where Deadpool, for some reason, had super strength, durability, stamina, and reflexes, and broke out of the place, killing Jack and Doctor. How dare you! Interrupting my sound!
There's that bit again, Charlie.
What bit?
Deadpool breaking out.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Deadpool
sorry.
breaks out of, I can't remember its name still, after his friend, after his friend gets killed, and he's like, fuck this shit, he gets out, killing everyone and gaining superpowers during the whole time anyway. And he then spends his years being an average 90s superhero full of angst, and muscles, and lots of pouches.
And a tiny neck.
Thank you, Jeff Lowe.
No, big neck, it's Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe, sorry.
Rob Lowe. Big neck, giant boobs, tiny feet, lots of pouches, and big guns. Both
Tiny
big.
See, when you said pouches, I was like, Deadpool had a kangaroo
And
pouch.
tiny...
Yes. Oh yeah, tiny wrists, no irises allowed. Lots of
Muscles
angst
on
and
muscles.
big guns.
Muscles
Yeah.
on muscles.
Muscle. Big gun, big gun. And he's...
And then a kangaroo pouch.
Yes, and the kangaroo pouch. For safety.
Yeah.
With that, he basically was your average X-Men kind of enemy for a bit. He had punch-ups with Cable, who was a very confusing character. And he disappeared from obscurity for a while, because characters do that. And then he started getting famous again in the late 2000s, or early 2000s, early 2000s. And from there, went to have pretty much what's considered the best Deadpool thing ever, which is Cable and Deadpool, where they teamed up and because Cable's stupidly powerful, because he's the son of Jean Grey, who's stupidly powerful, and Scott Summers, who's not stupidly powerful.
Wait,
It's just stupid.
They had children in a different dimension, and Cable's from that future.
dimension.
Okay. Jean Grey can only bear to have sex with Scott Summers in another dimension.
Oh no, she had sex with him in the 616 dimension. They just
Yeah,
didn't have
no,
kids.
they had sex, didn't have kids. But they had 4 kids in the other dimension, and they all came over to the actual dimension.
Okay. Anyway, that's,
He was friends with Cable for a bit.
And so much as you can be friends with
No, he has friends.
Does he?
Deadpool has a lot of friends. He has Weasel, who is like his sidekick. He bullied into being his sidekick. An old blind lady called Blind Owl, who he keeps in his house
Why?
when he has a house.
when he has a house. There was a girl
Well,
he kind
why
of-
does he keep an old lady in his house?
Because he's a psychopath.
What does
or
she do?
sociopath. She sits there and snarks.
Oh, she doesn't like do his laundry or whatever.
She might. She sits there and snarks, and when Deadpool was particularly mean, he just locked her in a room full of pointy things.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. Before he was happy clown, he was very sad clown.
Yeah, the writing for Deadpool is.
It's been up and down.
Yes.
Sometimes he's very sad clown, then recently when the Skrulls invaded Earth.
Squirrels?
Skrulls. That's
They're
a story
green
for
alien
another day.
shapeshifters. They're not squirrels.
I wanted them to.
Squirrels are a lot different in Marvel Universe.
And also Squirrel Girl is a whole nother.
Yeah, Squirrel Girl's a different thing.
Yeah.
But during Secret Wars, when alien shapeshifters invaded, Deadpool was written much wackier and had 2 voice boxes and sort of Pulo-vision, where he sees the world differently. It was kind of cool, and I enjoyed it. Other people did, and didn't like the not serious Deadpool. Even though this was at the point where Deadpool was everywhere, and he still fucking is. Like, he had 3 ongoing series at once.
That's a lot.
Yeah. It's like 1 comic a month, really, and 3 of those being Deadpool. He had a lot because he was very popular. Still is, but less. He's less shoved in everyone's face now, though he is still a favourite for people to cosplay as.
Leaving the bit with Indira and her keys, aren't you?
Yes, that was fun. Deadpool betrayed the human race and joined the side of the shape-shifting aliens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's a mercenary and he wants the most money.
Okay, that makes sense.
And he basically gave his DNA to the Skrulls because they used DNA to make super soldiers. And they used Deadpool's DNA, which in theory is really good, until the aliens explode. Because they don't have Deadpool's healing factor to keep the cancer in check. And the cancer just makes them go. Then it turns out Deadpool wasn't a traitor to the American people.
Yay, the American people!
He was hired by Nick Fury to kill the Queen, and then Norman Osborn took credit, and then he took over the Avengers.
What, Deadpool?
No, Norman Osborn. Green Goblin.
Yeah,
He took over the Avengers and S.H.I.E.L.D. for a bit,
okay.
and replaced them all with psychopaths.
I don't think someone called Norman should be in charge of anything.
I don't think Norman should have been Norman. It's not a very threatening name.
What would you call him?
I don't know, I'm not Stan Lee.
No way!
If I was, I'd be much older, have a mustache.
And be in all the Marvel movies.
Yeah, I know, I do want to be in all the Marvel movies. I just don't want to be Stan Lee. I'm perfectly fine being Charlie.
Charlie.
Charlie. Charlie.
Moving on.
We need to Photoshop like bits of Stan Lee onto your face.
After that, Deadpool... Oh yeah, he had another friend called Bob, agent of Hydra, who was a cowardly Hydra agent.
Hydrangent.
Hydra agent.
Hydrangent.
Yes, hydrated. He was very hydrated.
He was a hydrangent.
But he was Bob, agent of Hydra, who was a cowardly sidekick, who was basically forced to be Deadpool's sidekick.
Doesn't sound like Deadpool's very good at making friends.
He's not very good at making friends. That's half the enjoyment.
But he still
But,
tries to, which is very entertaining to watch,
Yeah.
to read.
Agent Bob would still salute Hydra in front of people when he was scared, which means he did it in front of Captain America. He hailed Hydra in front of Captain America. It's not that, it's that.
Yeah.
Hail Hydra! And he's like, what did you say? Nothing! But he's wearing a very silly green suit, and I kind of hope he's in the movie, but he won't be.
No.
I think that's all of Deadpool's friends.
There's
He's
Random
more
Man
than
and Deadpool.
Yeah, that's later, and that's weird, shitty stuff.
Yes, it's hilarious.
Weird, shitty stuff.
It's hilarious.
What's their ship name?
Spider-Ball.
Dead Man.
No, because that's a different superhero.
Oh. Dead
Uh,
Spider.
This would sound cool.
Does Deadpool have a wife or a girl?
Deadpool has a child and has been romantically interested in an alien, Death, a red-headed Irish girl who screams really loud.
Mary Jane?
No,
No.
like she has sonic screaming powers.
Oh, right.
Like, I think she was Banshee.
And just about every superhero he comes across.
Oh yeah, no, he hits on fucking everything. But his main romantic interests are Death, Siren, this Spanish girl he had a child with, but he was like, in a flashback was like, this baby can't be mine, it's too pretty, get rid of it.
Oh.
Get away from me, you don't want to be involved in my horrible life.
Oh.
Yeah, that was sad.
Yes.
But he has a child called Ellie. She's
Very
adorable.
Yes, you showed me the clip.
The finger thing. Recently, he lost his healing factor for a bit and was pretty again. And just realised he was a big fuck up because he wasn't very good at fighting without his healing factor. Because when you've trained yourself to think I'm invincible and I don't have to give a shit, when you suddenly have to give a shit again, you get your ass kicked by people like Paste Pot Pete.
Who is one of the worst Marvel villains.
He's a guy with big glue guns. He's not Paste Pot Pete anymore, he's the Trapster. But he has been Paste Pot Pete, Glue Gun Gil,
He has
and
had
the Trapster.
he's had a lot of identity crisis.
I would too if I was Paste Pot Pete.
They never call him anything other than baseball Pete.
Oh, okay.
But
But he's like, my name isn't that anymore, guys.
yeah,
Pretty much.
that's fine. There's more lame villains than him. I'll get into that a different day.
Yeah. Later.
Still man.
Still.
Just a man stilts. Big robot stilts.
That's
We're not even sure if it's a man, are we?
There's still woman.
Yeah,
It's still ridiculous either way.
Yeah.
But Deadpool has there's romantic interests. Friends include people like Taskmaster, who is superpowered mercenary with photographic memory. Photographic muscle memory.
What's happening in his current story arc?
Current story arc, he's got his healing factor back. He's all good. He kills dead presidents. He goes soul hunting for a demon that makes friends with the ghost of Benjamin Franklin. He finds out that he has a kid, and that the woman he had a kid with died in North Korea. They're trying to make mutants there,
Oh.
and they have concentration camps, and it's really dark.
Okay.
Presbot.
What?
Presbot.
What?
Preston.
Yeah. The whole Department K thing was still stealing his organs and making them forget about it by injecting him with assorted amounts of drugs.
Oh. Okay.
Very strong drugs, so they actually worked.
What did they want with his organs?
He is a cure to a lot of diseases.
Oh, okay.
The only reason he's a failure is because he's a psychopath and he didn't cure his cancer. But give Deadpool's healing things to someone else.
Yeah, I can see how that would happen.
And he's easier to kidnap than Wolverine.
Is he why?
Because Wolverine is a public figure. Deadpool is a fuck up.
Okay.
Also, Deadpool isn't surrounded by X-Men.
Or
Or
children.
Avengers.
Or children.
Or children.
Wolverine was the head of the X-Mansion for a bit.
Oh.
He was like headmaster.
I thought you meant Wolverine had like an army of children around him.
He has like 3 kids.
That's not an army.
No, he has 2 kids. One's
Most-
technically a clone.
They're both grown up.
Yeah.
Also, not an army. 3 people does not an army make.
3 Wolverines.
Does not an army make.
It does.
Pretty much when you consider how
How
Wolverine is.
Wolverine is.
You
Yes.
decide.
I don't think there's anything else.
Fourth wall.
Alright, yeah, that's actually really important. Deadpool has very powerful media awareness and can break the 4th wall all the time. Which means if I wasn't lazy, I'd actually write something funny for here, but I'm too lazy, so there'll probably just be something around in the editing.
I think you've broken the fourth wall all the way through.
That's fine, I always break the 4th wall. I always talk to me when I'm editing, right? Me? No! Shut up,
You
you
can
can't say
testify,
that.
I've seen him edit, he does talk to himself.
It's to remind me of things to edit.
I know.
And can't think of anything else.
Sexuality.
What? Alright, yeah. I
And
like
the
I said he
cross-dressing.
technically hits on everything.
But isn't he pansexual?
We're
I
not
don't know what you can call trying to bang an embodiment of death.
Pansexual?
Pansexual?
Necrosexual?
Because no, she's not
No,
dead.
because
It's the living embodiment of. It's the Grim Reaper of the Marvel Universe. They're in love,
Yeah, pansexual?
I
Probably.
guess. His
But
sexuality
doesn't he
is.
cross-dress as well?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it's for serious or if it's a joke.
half
Or
the
just to
time,
distract people.
yeah, half the time it
Because-
seems more of a distraction.
I
than
know half the
anything.
time he's wearing a tutu.
He is powerful superhero ADHD,
So,
very much.
so
But he does cross-dress a lot.
okay.
Yes.
Huh.
Like when he tried to join the X-Men and you see him in Jean Grey's costume, and you get a horrible upskirt image.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm gonna put that there. Zoom in. Zoom in more. Now zoom out. Now spin. Done. But yeah, he's hit on a lot of things, including aliens, death itself.
All
He
sexes.
technically made out with himself.
That is.
No, him from another. Oh, right, I forgot. Deadpool killed the whole Marvel Universe for a bit.
All of them.
In a different comic, where he was sent to a psychiatric ward that was taken over by a supervillain. The supervillain tried to like control him mentally, and instead created a new voice in his head that ate the other two. And this voice was a complete psychopath that said, "You know what you need to do? Kill everyone here, and that's the only way you can be free from the power of the writers."
Ooh.
And he does that. He succeeds, and then they write a sequel called Deadpool Illustrated, where he kills classic literary characters. And Sherlock Holmes, I can't remember any of the other ones, but Sherlock Holmes and Watson bring around the Avengers of classic literature, and they have a fight with the time machine from the book of the Time Traveller.
Huh.
And at the end of the book, Sherlock Holmes is going through all of the ideaverse, like that's what the classic literature is,
Right.
trying to fix all the horror that Deadpool's done. And
Deadpool.
then after that, there's Deadpool Kills Deadpool, where the Deadpool who like started all this is mentally gone so far that he thinks Deadpool is the start of the whole universe. So if he kills all the Deadpools, there won't be any more universe, and he'll finally be happy. Because he won't be happy till he's out of control of the writers.
Oh, he really is breaking the fourth wall then.
Yeah, no, he's broken the fourth wall in a very bad way.
Yeah.
And it ends up being there's a giant Deadpool army of good Deadpools and bad Deadpools, including a Galactus pool, a Mechanic pool, Beard of Bees pool, who is just Deadpool with Beard of Bees.
I'd be terrified of that.
Also,
And this was,
head Deadpool, wasn't there?
there's there was a zombie Deadpool from a zombie universe,
Is it-
who ended up just a head.
Yeah.
And when Deadpool teamed up with a bunch of his other selves from alternate universes, one of them was that one, it was just like zombie head Deadpool with like a propeller hat. But yeah, there's lots of alternate Deadpools, and the important ones would be Lady Deadpool, who just obviously goes by Deadpool in her universe.
Yeah.
Kidpool, who has lightsabers, and it's so cool. Dogpool, whose Deadpool is a mangy dog.
Aww.
There's 19th century, there's like World War II era Deadpool. They're all the important cool ones, but my favourite is Pandapool, who's Deadpool, who's a panda.
It's huge.
Yeah, who will, he's the endangered species who will endanger you.
I like that.
But yeah, he made out with himself for a bit, and they both agreed it was weird and they wouldn't do it again.
Okay. By the way, Charlie, you've been talking for like 20 minutes.
That's fine. I'm done. Any questions?
No.
Good.
Deadpool's wife.
Yeah, I had to pause there. Deadpool's wife, he's married to a succubus who's queen of the underworld, who he stole from Dracula. Because she loved him.
He's in love with death.
No. Well, he's in love with death. Can't ever see her, because he can't die.
Oh.
And now he's in love with this succubus, who isn't like terrified by his looks without the mask, because quite frankly, when she's not being all human formed, she's fucking terrifying.
Okay.
But she is queen of the monster world, and that's made issues with Dracula, because Dracula's like, "You stole my bride, bitch!" And Deadpool's like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna marry her."
I hope that's exactly how it went.
Pretty mumuch. They play a game called Grab the Booty, which he convinced his wife is a real game. And he like went to grab her, and she just like tripped him up and said, "You're too slow," and just walked off.
Nice.
But any questions?
No.
Huh?
I'm done.
Huh?
I'm done.
What?
Yeah?
Holy shit. was